The day has drawn its long, tired breath, folding up its bustling noises and bright, pressing demands like a well-read book slipped back onto a quiet shelf. Somewhere out there, the world continues to spin with its familiar hum, but for you, that hum has grown soft and distant, muffled by the gathering twilight. Here, at the edge of evening, the air is cool and sweet, smelling faintly of pine resin, damp earth, and the faint, sugary breath of night-blooming jasmine. You find yourself standing at the very edge of an ancient, whispering wood. Above you, the sky has shed the bright, demanding blue of the afternoon, transforming instead into a vast, velvety expanse of lavender and bruised plum. It is a slow, breathing sort of color, shifting almost imperceptibly as the last embers of the sun melt below the horizon, leaving behind a gentle, bruised violet glow that stretches across the heavens like a comforting quilt. Before your feet lies a path, narrow and winding, inviting you to step away from everything that has been and into everything that is yet to unfold. You take that first step. The ground beneath you is not hard earth, but a thick, living carpet of emerald moss. As your shoes, or perhaps your bare feet, if you prefer the direct, grounding coolness, sink slightly into the cushion of green, a soft sigh seems to rise from the ground itself. It is a welcoming sound, like an old friend whispering that you have finally arrived home. And as the twilight deepens, you notice something wondrous. The moss beneath your steps is not merely green, it is alive with a bioluminescent pulse. With every footfall, a constellation of pale, mint-green light blooms outward from your shoes in concentric ripples, fading slowly like breathing light. It is as if the forest is acknowledging your presence, greeting you softly, illuminating the way forward so that you never have to guess where your feet should fall. You take a slow, deep breath, drawing the cool, lavender-scented air deep down into your lungs, and as you exhale, you let go of the last lingering tension in your shoulders. Let it drop away. Let it sink down into the glowing moss, where the earth can quietly absorb it and carry it away. The trees stand as silent, benevolent guardians on either side of the winding path. Their trunks are massive and gnarled, wrapped in the silvery gray bark of centuries, their high branches forming a vaulted cathedral ceiling overhead. Through gaps in the leafy canopy, the first stars are beginning to puncture the purple velvet of the sky, not sharp and blinding, but soft and buttery, flickering like distant, sleepy candles. A gentle breeze stirs through the upper boughs, creating a sound like silk brushing against silk. Hush, the leaves seem to murmur. Hush now. There is nowhere else you need to be, You walk at a pace dictated entirely by the beating of your own heart, which is slowing now, matching the rhythmic cadence of your steps. The glowing moss guides you deeper into the hush of the woods. Every few paces, small clusters of bell-shaped flowers, the color of periwinkle and cream, nod sleepily on their stems. As you brush past them, they release tiny, floating spores of silver dust that drift lazily in the air around you, catching the ambient light of the path and sparkling like fireflies caught in a dream. There are no clocks here. There are no lists of things to do, no expectations to meet, no screens glowing with artificial light. There is only the quiet rhythm of your breathing, the soft spring of the moss beneath your feet, and the comforting embrace of the twilight forest wrapping around you like a heavy, warm blanket. The path dips gently into a shallow, fern-filled hollow, where the air is even cooler, pooling around your ankles like a mist of liquid peace. Giant fronds of silver-green ferns brush softly against your arms as you pass, as light and airy as a feather's touch. In the distance, a small, hidden stream chatters to itself in a low, musical gurgle, a liquid lullaby that dances just beneath the rustle of the trees. It speaks in a language of pure relaxation, washing over your thoughts, smoothing out the jagged edges of the day until your mind is as calm and unruffled as a still, midnight pond. You feel heavy in the most wonderful way, not weighed down, but wonderfully anchored to the earth, entirely safe, entirely secure. Your eyelids feel pleasantly warm and a little drowsy, heavy with the quiet magic of the threshold you have crossed. The world is vast and peaceful, and for now, this glowing path is the only place in the universe that matters. You take another deep, slow breath, letting the stillness of the lavender twilight settle deep into your bones, ready for whatever gentle wonders wait just around the next bend in the glowing road. You take another deep, slow breath, letting the stillness of the lavender twilight settle deep into your bones, and step gently around the bend in the glowing road. Immediately, the soft amber luminescence of the path gives way to a cathedral of ancient, towering trees. You have entered the heart of the whispering canopy. Here, the twilight does not merely fade, it is embraced by the colossal trunks of silver-barked elders whose branches interlock high above, forming a vast, protective dome against the velvet night sky. Shafts of pale, amethyst moonlight filter through this leafy ceiling, casting long, gentle shadows that sway in a slow, hypnotic dance upon the mossy forest floor. The air here is cool, clean, and scented richly with the perfume of damp earth, crushed pine needles, and the sweet, night-blooming jasmine that climbs the gnarled roots of the oldest oaks. With every breath you take, your chest rises and falls in a rhythmic, tidal motion. Inhale the tranquility of the forest, exhale the last lingering thoughts of the day. They drift away from you like smoke, dissolving harmlessly into the quiet dark. Beneath your feet, the path transforms into a thick, springy carpet of emerald moss. Each step you take is entirely soundless, as if you are walking upon clouds of velvet. You notice how effortless movement feels here. There is no rush, no destination to reach, and no timeline to keep. Time itself seems to slow down within this peaceful sanctuary, stretching each passing second into a timeless, floating eternity. As you walk deeper into the grove, you become aware of a profound, living soundscape all around you. High above, caught in the gentle, midnight breeze, the leaves of the canopy begin to converse. It is a soft, papery rustle, asterisk hush, hush, hush asterisk, like the turning of pages in a massive, ancient book of bedtime stories. The sound ripples through the branches in rolling waves, starting far in the distance and washing over you in a soothing cascade before fading away into the deep woods behind you. It is a natural lullaby, sung by the oldest guardians of the earth. You tilt your head back to watch the shadows play upon the leaves, feeling entirely weightless, entirely protected. Interwoven with the rustling leaves, a new sound begins to grace your ears. It is very faint at first, a delicate, liquid silver ribbon of sound threading through the stillness. It is the distant murmur of a hidden stream, winding its way over smooth river stones just beyond the next cluster of ferns. You turn your gentle steps toward the sound, letting it draw you forward like a beacon of pure relaxation. The forest opens up slightly into a small, secluded glade bathed in the softest silver-blue light. There, cutting a curving path through the dark soil, is the stream. Its waters move with a liquid grace, catching the moonlight and scattering tiny, diamond-like reflections across the surrounding ferns and wildflowers. You pause at the water's edge and look down. The current is calm, unhurried, flowing steadily toward some quiet, distant sea. You crouch or sit, whichever feels most comfortable to your drowsy body, and let the atmosphere of the stream wash over you. The water sings as it ripples over rounded pebbles. It is a rhythmic, hypnotic murmur, a wordless song of rest and letting go. Flow on, drift down, the water seems to whisper these words directly to your tired mind. You imagine dipping your hands into the cool, refreshing current, letting the water carry away any remaining tension from your fingertips, washing it downstream into the quiet earth where it can do no harm. Fireflies begin to wake around the stream, blinking their soft, golden lanterns on and off in a lazy, unhurried rhythm. One drifts close to your face, painting a warm arc of light in the air before floating up to join the constellations tangled in the canopy above. You watch it rise, your eyelids growing heavier, fluttering lazily as the urge to sleep gently tugs at the edges of your consciousness. The world is impossibly quiet here. There are no demands, no echoes of the waking world, only the steady, soothing rush of the stream and the gentle, sighing lullaby of the whispering canopy. You feel your limbs grow wonderfully heavy, anchored securely to the earth by a deep, profound sense of peace. You are safe. You are warm. You are exactly where you are meant to be, drifting ever closer to the edges of a sweet, dreamlike slumber, cradled by the eternal, quiet heart of the ancient woods. The path beneath your feet softens further, trading the firm roots and packed earth for a thick, velvety moss that cushions every step with a silent, yielding grace. The urgent pull at the edges of your consciousness grows sweeter, a heavy, velvet curtain lowering by slow degrees over the bustling theater of the mind. With each breath you take, the air feels cooler, purer, carrying you deeper into a state of profound stillness. You are completely untethered from urgency. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, save for the gentle act of existing in this quiet embrace. Ahead, through a parting in the dense, sheltering boughs of the ancient oaks, the darkness of the forest yields to a breathtaking luminosity. You step out of the shadows and gently enter the glade of silver ferns. It is a place suspended between the waking world and the realm of dreams. A magnificent aperture in the canopy allows the full, silvery gaze of the moon to pour directly into the heart of the clearing, bathing the landscape in a soft, ethereal radiance. The light does not glare, rather, it settles upon the glen like a fine, luminous mist, turning every blade of grass and every leaf into a delicate filigree of pewter and pearl. All around you, the glade is alive with an impossible, quiet beauty. The silver ferns grow tall and proud, their fronds unfurled in lazy, intricate patterns. As a gentle, unseen breath of wind wanders through the clearing, the ferns begin to sway. It is a slow, hypnotic dance, a rippling wave of iridescent green and silver that shimmers softly in the moonlight, catching the pale beams and casting tiny, dancing constellations of light across the forest floor. With this gentle breeze comes a scent so intoxicatingly peaceful that your chest expands naturally to receive it. It is the crisp, clean aroma of ancient pine, deep-rooted and grounding, mingling seamlessly with the sweet, heavy perfume of night-blooming jasmine. The fragrance is rich yet weightless, drifting through the air like a soothing lullaby for the senses. Allow yourself to pause here, right at the threshold of the glade, and take a deep, slow breath. Inhale the cool, pine-scented air. Feel it fill your lungs completely, chasing away any lingering tension from the day. Hold it for just a heartbeat, feeling the quiet perfection of the moment, and then let it out in a long, slow sigh. As you exhale, imagine your shoulders dropping an inch lower, your jaw unclenching, and your body growing heavier, more securely anchored to the comforting earth beneath you. Take another breath. Deeper this time. Let the fragrance of jasmine and cool night air wash over your mind, clearing away thoughts like a gentle tide smoothing the sands of a quiet shore. With every inhalation, you are drawing in peace. With every exhalation, you are releasing the world. The silence of the glade is profound, yet it is far from empty. Beneath the rustle of the iridescent ferns, you hear the distant, rhythmic murmur of the stream you followed earlier, sounding now like a whispered song from a dream. High above, the sighing lullaby of the canopy continues, a soft, susurrating wave of sound that rocks the night. The combination of sights, sounds, and scents weaves a heavy, golden-spun cocoon around you. Your eyelids feel wonderfully heavy, weighted down by the sheer luxury of this place. The silver light of the moon seems to press softly against your forehead, smoothing away any stray thoughts, inviting you to let go entirely. There is no resistance left in you, only a warm, blooming surrender to the quiet. You take one more slow, deep breath, letting the cool night air fill you from head to toe, and as you gently release it, you feel yourself drifting just a little bit closer to the edge of sleep, cradled by the silver ferns, held safely in the quiet heart of the dreaming woods. As you leave the silver ferns behind, the whispering woods slowly open up, parting like heavy velvet theater curtains to reveal a landscape so breathtakingly serene that your breath catches, then melts into a long, quiet sigh. Before you lies the glass lake of mirrors. It is a vast, perfectly circular body of water, tucked away in the deepest sanctuary of the night, utterly untouched by even the gentlest breeze. The surface of the lake is not merely calm, it is an absolute mirror, so flawless and pristine that it is impossible to tell where the earth ends and the sky begins. The entire cosmos has descended to rest upon the water. Countless stars, sapphire, amber, diamond, and soft amethyst, burn steadily in the dark velvet expanse above, and are mirrored with breathtaking clarity in the liquid glass below. You are standing, quite literally, at the edge of the universe, suspended between two identical worlds of infinite, quiet beauty. All around the perimeter of the lake, the air grows perceptibly softer, smelling faintly of night-blooming jasmine, cool stone, and the crisp, sweet essence of pure mountain dew. There is no sound here. No rustling of leaves, no distant hum of the waking world, only the profound, resonant hush of absolute stillness. The silence is not empty, it is full, rich, and velvety, wrapping around your shoulders like a heavy, warmed blanket after a long journey. At the water's edge, a bank of thick, mossy velvet awaits you. It is a deep, midnight indigo shade, impossibly soft to the touch, cradled by the slope of the gentle shore. You step forward, your footsteps making no sound at all upon the yielding ground, and you sit down. The velvet molds itself instantly to the shape of your body, supporting you effortlessly. You lean back, settling in, letting every single muscle in your body finally, completely let go. Your shoulders drop an inch lower. Your hands, resting palms up on the fabric, feel light and warm. Your head finds a natural, comfortable rest, aligned with the quiet rhythm of the night. From this vantage point, the lake becomes your window into endless peace. You gaze out across the glassy surface, watching the reflection of the Milky Way stretch across the water like a spilled ribbon of powdered silver. The night is holding its breath with you. As you lie back against the velvet bank, a streak of brilliant white light suddenly tears across the upper sky. It is a shooting star, born from the farthest reaches of the galaxy, burning bright and pure as it traces a graceful arc downward. But instead of vanishing into the atmosphere, this shooting star descends directly toward the glass lake. With impossible gentleness, the streak of starlight touches the mirrored surface. There is no splash, no sound, only a delicate, luminous ripple. The light dissolves into the water, blooming outward in concentric circles of soft, pale turquoise and liquid gold. These ripples glide smoothly across the lake, carrying the energy of the falling star in slow, hypnotic pulses. As the ripples wash softly against the shore near your feet, a wave of deep, physical relaxation washes through you in tandem. Every ripple is a heartbeat of the night, every pulse takes a little bit more of your remaining tension away, dissolving it into the water. Another star lets go of the constellation above, drifting lazily down through the dark. Melt, it touches the glass, and another ring of peaceful light fans outward, whispering across the surface, smoothing the reflection of the cosmos into an even deeper, more profound tranquility. You watch a third, and a fourth. Each shooting star is a quiet invitation to sink just a fraction of an inch deeper into the velvet bank. You feel as though you are melting, too, not disappearing, but softening at the edges, your form blending seamlessly with the cool, supportive earth beneath you. The sky above is a slow-motion dance of light and dark. The stars twinkle like diamond dust, but they do not demand your attention, they only watch over you, steady and eternal. The velvet bank holds you securely, a safe harbor at the edge of infinity. With every slow inhale, you breathe in the cool, starkest air, filling your chest with quietude. With every slow exhale, you send a gentle ripple across the lake of your own mind, until your thoughts are as still, as clear, and as glassy as the water before you. There is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to do. The night holds you. The lake reflects you. The stars lull you closer and closer to the threshold of sleep, cradled in the infinite peace of the dreaming world. At the very edge of the glassy water, where the pine-scented breeze whispers softly through the reeds, rests the boat of starlight. It waits for you like an old, familiar friend, carved from ancient, sun-warmed cedar and polished smooth by the passage of endless, gentle tides. As you draw near, you notice it is lined entirely with deep velvet cushions the color of a midnight sky, piled high with soft down pillows that seem to breathe with your own slow rhythm. There are no oars, no heavy chains, and no sails to hoist. This is a vessel born of quiet magic, designed not for travel, but for arrival into rest. You step over the low wooden gunwale, your movements slow and deliberate, leaving behind the last lingering thoughts of the waking day upon the shore. The moment your feet sink into the plush velvet, a profound sense of relief washes over you, traveling upward from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. You settle back into the cushions, letting your weight sink down, 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 until the boat contours itself perfectly to your shape. You are held entirely, securely, wrapped in a cocoon of warmth and safety. With a soft, almost imperceptible nudge, the boat detaches from the shore. There is no jolt, no sudden motion, only a seamless transition from land to water. The shoreline recedes into the velvety shadows, melting into a dark, comforting fringe of evergreens and silver birch. You are drifting now, released into the care of the calm, fathomless lake. As the boat moves away from the bank, a constellation of warm, living light awakens around you. Fireflies, born from the dreaming heart of the forest, rise from the tall reeds in a slow, hypnotic ballet. They are not like the hurried sparks of a summer evening, these are ancient, drowsy lights, glowing with a soft, amber radiance that feels like liquid honey. They hover just above the water's surface, painting long, golden brushstrokes across the dark mirror of the lake. A small cluster of these gentle creatures drifts closer to the bow of your boat, moving in a silent, undulating formation as if to act as your guides. Their warm glow catches the polished wood of the gunwale, casting dancing shadows that sway in time with your breathing. You watch them rise and fall, their rhythmic blinking acting as a metronome for your relaxation. With every flicker, your eyelids feel just a little bit heavier. With every slow arc they trace through the cool air, your shoulders drop another fraction of an inch into the down pillows. The water beneath the boat is so still, so utterly undisturbed, that the boundary between the sky above and the depths below completely vanishes. You are no longer floating on water, you are suspended in space. Millions of ancient stars hang not only in the velvet vault of the night sky, but also directly beneath you, trapped in the crystalline clarity of the lake. As the boat glides effortlessly along, you pass gently through galaxies of reflected starlight, parting the constellations like drifting lily paths. The Milky Way stretches overhead and underneath, wrapping around you in a boundless, glowing embrace. There is no sound here except for the absolute, velvety silence of the night, punctuated only by the softest imaginable music of the universe. Far off in the distance, a gentle breeze rustles the pine needles, sounding like the long, soft sigh of the world exhaling its cares. Occasionally, a tiny ripple laps lazily against the cedar hull, hush, hush, hush a lullaby sung by the water itself, telling you that you are safe, that you are hidden, that you are entirely at peace. The current carries you onward, guided by invisible hands and the warm, amber lanterns of the fireflies. You do not need to steer. You do not need to look ahead. You simply need to feel the gentle rocking of the boat, a slow, hypnotic sway that rocks you deeper and deeper into tranquility. Each breath you take is deeper than the last, drawing in the cool, star-kissed air and releasing it as a warm mist that vanishes into the night. Your fingers trail lazily over the side of the boat, brushing just the very top of the cool water. A delicate ripple spreads outward from your fingertips, shimmering with captured starlight, before fading into the vast, quiet expanse of the lake. The tension in your hands dissolves into the water. The weight of your thoughts dissolves into the air. The fireflies continue their slow, looping dance, their amber light dimming by imperceptible degrees as they begin to settle into their own slumber among the reeds. The stars above burn brighter, softer, humming a silent tune that vibrates gently through the wood of the boat, through the velvet cushions, and straight into your bones. The night wraps around you like a heavy, comforting quilt, tucking you in against the edges of infinity. You drift further into the heart of the dreaming world, cradled by the water, guided by the stars, sinking slowly, peacefully, into the very threshold of sleep. The boat sighs against the current, a soft, whispering friction of wood upon water that seems to breathe in time with your own chest. As you drift forward, the open expanse of the starlit river gently narrows, guiding you beneath an archway of ancient, weeping stone. The jagged edges of the world smooth away, replaced by the cool, velvety embrace of the cavern of echoing chimes. Here, the darkness is not empty, but rich and deep, colored in shades of indigo and slate, softly illuminated by the faint, bioluminescent glow of moss clinging to the high, vaulted ceiling. These tiny, starry clusters of green light pulse with a slow, hypnotic regularity, casting long, liquid shadows that dance lazily across the smooth stone walls. The air is cool and sweet, smelling faintly of clean earth, rain-washed minerals, and the ancient, quiet stillness of the deep earth. Ahead of you, the water spreads into a vast, subterranean lagoon, as still and reflective as a polished obsidian mirror. Suspended above this glassy surface, hidden somewhere in the unseen heights of the cavern dome, a gentle, hidden spring releases its treasures. A single droplet of water detaches from a stalactite, catching the faint greenish glimmer of the moss before it falls. Plink. The droplet strikes the center of the lagoon, and the sound does not merely splash, it blooms. A pure, crystalline note rings out, sweet and impossibly clear, hanging in the warm, still air like a suspended bubble of sound. Before the first note can fade, another drop falls, and then another, weaving together a melody of unearthly grace. As the chimes echo against the curved limestone walls, they transform. The acoustics of the cavern catch the pure tones, softening them, bending them into long, harmonious reverberations that overlap and intertwine. It is a natural cathedral of sound, a gentle, liquid lullaby played upon invisible instruments of stone and water. With every chime that resonates through the cavern, you feel a physical sensation of release. The final, stubborn knots of tension that lingered in your shoulders begin to untie, melting away like sugar in warm tea. The quiet rhythm of the droplets sinks deep into your muscles, encouraging your body to grow heavier, warmer, and more deeply relaxed against the velvet cushions of the boat. The boat glides further into the heart of the chamber, moving entirely of its own accord, carried by a gentle, invisible tide. You do not need to steer, you only need to receive the peace that surrounds you. With each passing second, the boundary between your physical self and the cavern begins to blur. The resonant hum of the chimes vibrates softly against your skin, traveling inward, whispering to the rhythm of your heartbeat, slowing it down to match the majestic, unhurried pace of the earth. Your breathing deepens, falling into a slow, measured cadence that mirrors the falling water. Inhale the cool, mineral-scented air. Exhale, releasing the last remnants of the day's thoughts, letting them dissolve into the dark, welcoming water below. The amber glow of the fireflies from the river has faded now, replaced by the soothing, sapphire and emerald twilight of the cavern. The walls seem to breathe with you, expanding and contracting in a silent, ancient rhythm. The stars above the cavern entrance are hidden now, but you do not miss them, their lullaby has simply been translated into this subterranean symphony of crystal and stone. You feel overwhelmingly safe here, cradled in the very lap of the world, suspended between waking and dreaming. The boat rocks with a microscopic, soothing sway, just enough to cradle your tired mind. The chimes continue their eternal, peaceful dance, a cascading waterfall of sound that washes over your forehead, your temples, your eyelids, smoothing out every crease of worry until your mind is as smooth and untroubled as the dark lagoon. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere else to be. The chimes slow down, stretching out the spaces between the notes, inviting you to step across the threshold into the deepest, softest chambers of sleep. You let go, sinking willingly into the heavy, beautiful stillness, carried ever onward on a river of pure, echoing peace. Ahead of you, the winding cavern tunnel begins to widen, and the air changes, growing noticeably softer, bathed in a pearlescent, lavender-tinted luminescence that feels as gentle on the eyes as a closed eyelid. The damp stone beneath your feet gradually gives way to something infinitely more yielding, a path of cool, velvety moss that cushions every step until walking feels less like moving and more like floating. With every breath you take, the tension in your shoulders dissolves just a little further, melting away into the quiet, echoing stillness of the earth. You take a few more slow, unhurried steps forward, and suddenly, the confining walls of the cavern fall away. You have arrived at the Valley of Floating Clouds. It is a vast, limitless expanse stretching out in every direction under a twilight sky the color of crushed blueberries and spun silver. There are no harsh edges here, no distant horizons to measure, only a boundless, breathing space filled with an exquisite, hushed tranquility. And best of all, the clouds, those great, billowing cushions of condensed mist, are not high above in some unreachable sky. Here, in this enchanted valley, they drift at eye level, great pillows of pure, luminous white and softest cream, floating lazily on gentle, invisible currents of warm, scented air. You step forward out of the stone threshold and into the open expanse, and instantly, gravity loosens its hold upon you. There is no sudden drop, no rush of wind, only a delicious, floating lightness. Your feet gently lift from the mossy floor, and you find yourself suspended in the warm, cradling embrace of the open air. It is as if you are swimming in a warm, shallow sea of tranquility, except there is no effort required to stay afloat. Your body surrenders completely to the stillness, growing heavier and lighter all at once, heavy with sleep, yet light as a fallen feather. Right beside you drifts a magnificent cloud, rounded and plump, looking precisely like a colossal marshmallow dusted with starlight. You reach out a hand, your fingers sinking slowly into its surface. It does not feel cold or damp, instead, it is warm, soft, and impossibly plush, resisting just enough to support your weight before molding itself perfectly to the shape of your palm. You lean into it, and the cloud receives you entirely. It cradles your back, your shoulders, the back of your head, taking away every ounce of physical burden until you can no longer feel the distinction between where your body ends and the cloud begins. You are simply a part of the landscape now, drifting through a dreamscape of endless peace. The valley below is a mosaic of sleeping shadows and soft, glowing flora that pulse in rhythm with your breathing, a slow, deep inhale, a long, sighing exhale. Far beneath you, rivers of liquid moonlight wind through valleys of velvet moss, humming a low, wordless lullaby that rises to your ears as a distant, soothing vibration. You feel yourself rocking ever so gently, swayed by a breeze that smells faintly of vanilla, old paper, and lavender rain. There is no sound here except for the soft whoosh of the clouds brushing past one another, a sound like silk sheets sliding over skin. Hush, the valley whispers. Hush now. With each passing moment, you drift higher into the heart of the dreamscape. You pass through a drift of mist that feels like a cool, refreshing breath across your forehead, soothing the space between your eyebrows, smoothing out any stray thoughts that might still linger at the edges of your awareness. They vanish like smoke, absorbed by the comforting white expanse around you. Your eyelids grow heavier, weighted down by the sheer, luxurious comfort of the floating world. You do not need to steer. You do not need to watch where you are going. The gentle currents of the valley are carrying you toward the deepest, most secluded hollow of the night, where sleep waits for you like a warm bed turned down with fresh linens. You let your arms go entirely limp. You let your legs dangle weightlessly. Your chest rises and falls in a slow, rhythmic tide. Every heartbeat is a step further down the winding path of rest. The world around you blurs into a wash of soft pastels, silvers, lavenders, and deep, velvety indigos. Floating here, suspended between earth and sky, cradled by the softest clouds in existence, you feel entirely safe. You are wrapped in a blanket of absolute quiet. There is nothing to ask of you, nothing left for you to do, but drift, deeper and deeper, into the tranquil, beautiful night. Drifting onward upon that gentle, cloud-borne current, the pastel hues of the night gradually part to reveal a structure of impossible grace. Rising gently from the mist like a vision born from a pleasant dream, there stands the pavilion of eternal rest. It is a sanctuary carved from pearl-white stone and aged, fragrant cedar, resting quietly at the very edge of the sky. The path beneath your weightless form softens, turning from cool vapor into a pathway of velvet moss that yields silently beneath your approach. Here, time itself slows to a standstill, holding its breath in reverence for the profound peace that dwells within these walls. As you draw closer, you notice how the pavilion seems to breathe with the night. Slender, polished pillars support a gracefully curved roof that mirrors the gentle dome of the starry heavens above. Draped between each pillar are expanses of gossamer silk curtains, spun from the finest moonlight and dyed in shades of pale lavender, soft silver, and twilight indigo. A warm, comforting night breeze wanders through the open-air design, catching the gossamer fabric and causing it to billow outward in slow, undulating waves. The silk moves like the surface of a slumbering sea, whispering a soft, rustling lullaby that instantly smooths out any lingering tension in your mind. You step across the threshold into the heart of the pavilion, and a profound sense of absolute stillness envelopes you. The air here is perfectly balanced, neither too warm nor too cool, carrying the faint, sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine and ancient cedarwood. In the center of the pavilion rests a low, wide platform strewn with an abundance of plush cushions, quilted coverlets, and down-filled pillows that seem molded specifically to your form. There is no urgency here, no demands waiting to be met, and no thoughts required of your weary mind. This space exists solely for your comfort, waiting patiently to cradle you into the deepest layers of rest. You let yourself sink down onto the velvet cushions, feeling their softness mold to the contours of your body. With every millimeter you descend, you release another layer of the day's weight. Your shoulders drop away from your ears, melting down into the fabric beneath you. Your jaw relaxes, parting just slightly, and your hands uncurl, your fingers opening like the petals of a sleeping flower. The surface beneath you feels infinitely supportive, as if the earth itself has risen up to hold you securely, ensuring you have nothing left to carry. All around you, the gossamer silk curtains continue their slow, hypnotic dance. The warm night breeze flows through the open sides of the pavilion, brushing against your skin like a cool, feathery touch. It carries away any stray thoughts, sweeping them out into the vast, open night sky where they dissolve into harmless specks of stardust. You watch the translucent curtains rise and fall in time with your own breathing. In, out. Rise, fall. The rhythm of the breeze and the rhythm of your chest become one single, harmonious tide, rocking you gently in an endless cradle of calm. Looking upward, the vaulted ceiling of the pavilion opens to the cosmos, framing a constellation of gentle, twinkling stars that shine down with a benevolent, amber light. They do not demand attention, they simply watch over you, steady and eternal, casting a soft, soothing glow over the entire sanctuary. The shadows cast by the billowing silk sway in a slow, hypnotic waltz across the polished floor, creating a visual lullaby that coaxes your eyelids to grow heavier and heavier. A deep, velvet quiet settles over the pavilion, broken only by the soft sigh of the wind and the distant, rhythmic hum of the universe at peace. Every fiber of your being grows heavier, weighted down by a comforting, blissful lethargy. Your limbs feel like warm lead, wonderfully heavy and entirely at rest. The boundaries between yourself and the night begin to blur, you are no longer just resting in the pavilion, you are becoming part of the stillness, part of the silk, part of the warm, comforting breeze. There is nothing left to see, nothing left to hear, and nothing left to do. The world outside has faded away, leaving only this endless expanse of peace, this sanctuary of absolute stillness. You surrender completely to the sensation of sinking, drifting further and further into the velvety dark, wrapped safely within the pavilion of eternal rest, where sleep awaits like a gentle, welcoming tide, ready to carry you into the sweetest dreams imaginable. The boundary between the waking mind and the quiet expanse of the night dissolves entirely, leaving behind only the rhythm of breathing and the vast, welcoming stillness of the deep. Here, at the edge of the world's quietest waters, the gentle tide of sleep rolls in, whispering of rest, of safety, and of absolute peace. You find yourself drifting upon the glassy surface of a midnight sea, where the water is as smooth and dark as polished obsidian, reflecting a sky thick with soft, silver stars. There are no waves here, only a slow, rhythmic swell that lifts and lowers you with the infinite patience of the ocean. Each movement is a cradle, a gentle rocking motion that lulls the body into an even deeper state of surrender. The tension in your shoulders melts away, dissolving into the cool, dark water, and your limbs grow wonderfully heavy, anchored by a sweet and comforting fatigue. Beneath you, a vessel made of woven moonlight and woven dreams carries you forward, though there is no destination to reach, for you have already arrived. The air is warm and smells faintly of night-blooming jasmine and salt-kissed mist. It brushes against your skin like a silk handkerchief, so light and soft you scarcely know where your body ends and the night air begins. As you float deeper into the harbor, the sounds of the waking world grow faint and distant, replaced by the low, resonant hum of the universe at rest. A lighthouse stands in the distance upon a distant shore, not casting a harsh beam, but glowing with a warm, amber light, a steady, reassuring pulse that beats in time with your own slowing heartbeat. Asterisk in and out. Rest and release, the light washes over you in slow, rhythmic waves, bathing you in a sense of profound security. You are completely safe here, held in the palm of the night, watched over by the quiet stars. The boat glides silently into a hidden cove where the water is as still as a mirror. The anchor drops without a sound, and with it, the last remaining anchors of thought and worry fall away into the deep. There is nothing left to weigh you down. You are as light as a feather, as free as a drifting cloud. Above you, the sky begins to shift, blending deep indigos with shades of bruised lavender and soft, pearl gray. The stars seem to draw closer, humming a lullaby without words, a vibration that resonates deep within your chest, smoothing out the last jagged edges of consciousness. You realize that you are no longer just lying in the boat, you are becoming part of the harbor itself. You are the stillness of the water. You are the warmth of the breeze. You are the quiet space between the stars. A soft, velvety mist rolls over the surface of the harbor, wrapping around you like an invisible blanket. It is cool against your forehead, soothing the tired corners of your mind, whispering that it is time to let go completely. Every breath you take is deeper and slower than the last. Your eyelids are heavy, lined with leaden sleep, refusing to open, nor is there any reason they should. The dark behind your eyes is rich, fertile, and comforting, blooming with the first gentle shapes of dreams. Colors begin to form behind your closed lids, not bright or demanding, but muted watercolors of plum, sage, and cream, bleeding into one another in slow, graceful motions. A sense of immense relief washes over you, warm and golden, starting from the crown of your head and flowing all the way down to the tips of your toes. Your fingers uncurl. Your jaw relaxes. Your chest rises and falls in a long, unbroken sigh. The harbor of deep sleep welcomes you into its innermost sanctuary. There are no thoughts left to think, only the sensation of sinking softly into an endless featherbed of clouds. The world is far away, small and insignificant, while this moment, this perfect, quiet, beautiful moment of rest, is the only thing that exists. You let go. You drift. You sleep.